All right. Welcome back. Another episode of the Late Arrivals podcast. This week, it's episode 64. Um, McMillan,
Who?
right? McMillan, Brandon McMillan,
Trying to think of who else has been
464.
60,
sixty-four.
sixty
If you say
four.
so. Um, Jake is back somewhat. I still have to lead the charge because his voice isn't 100% back, but he's
Yay,
here.
being
He's
sick for
alive.
2 weeks. Woo.
He is alive, which is always good. There's a lot. There's a lot going on in the
I have
league.
the list.
You had the list. Go ahead.
Matt Bolesky, Brandon McMillan, Stefan Noesen, Joseph Blandisi, Kiefer Sherwood, and Jacob Perot.
Oh, Perot. Jesus. I forgot about Kiefer. I forgot he wore 64.
I think you guys mentioned that Oh, last yeah,
Oh,
we
week.
did.
Did we? I remember you mentioning Perot. Someone mentioning Perot. I still forgot it. But yeah, that's that's fun. But yeah, there's a ton to get to outside of the Ducks continuously losing. Just a lot going on. But nice and early here in the episode while I have you. Make sure you're following the Late Arrivals Pod everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, um, everywhere. Just everywhere. You can find us at Late Arrivals Pod just about anywhere. Subscribe wherever you can. Leave us a 5-star rating if you're feeling up to it. We'd appreciate it. It's the holiday season. It's the giving season. Everyone's happy. Why don't you give us some nice ratings? Be great.
Yeah, please.
Lou
Thank
said
you.
please, so that's important. All right, so the Ducks losing streak is at 7. So that 6-game win streak that made us all feel really nice, warm and fuzzy, and we were all on top of the world, and it felt great, and it felt great to be a Ducks fan. It's kind of crashed and burned, and
Honestly,
you
it
know,
doesn't feel as bad as last season.
not yet. For me, at least, not yet.
It doesn't feel as bad. There's still a lot of positive to take away.
There are, yeah. I'm just afraid that if they let it get to double digits, it's going to be pretty nasty. Like just the continuous losing, and I mean, at least they're not. I can't say they're not losing like bad because the 2 games that really annoyed me, these last four, what was it? One, two, three. Yeah, these last 4 games since we last recorded. The Canadians game, we definitely should have won. I really felt like we could have won that game. It was right there. The Kings game and the Oilers game pissed me off. Like those 2 games annoyed me so much. Like I haven't that Kings loss. Like I know we have Kings friends, and they're gonna and if any Kings fans stumble upon this episode, you're gonna enjoy me saying this, but I haven't felt that down about a Ducks loss in probably 2 years because of how like the rebuild is going, and you're kind of expecting losses and stuff. And I'm not saying we're expecting to win all these games and make it to the playoffs this year, but we're a better team this year than we have been in the last couple seasons. And that loss to the Kings, even in our down years recently, I felt like the Ducks could wake up for Kings games no matter how bad they were playing. And for some reason, they could just be on it. Even if they lost, they would still be in the game. They'd be engaged, and it was a fun game. That game was not fun. I missed most of it, thankfully. I watched some of the highlights and stuff. I was able to see like a decent chunk of the second period, but it was a horrible
We'll
game
talk about it
like that.
more, but like the first 8 minutes, they were playing okay, and then they just started taking penalties, and it just went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was glad I worked that day, so I didn't have to subject myself to watching it. But
Yeah.
that one was annoying. The Oilers one, I'm right there with you of those two being the ones that kind of ticked me off the most. Even though last night I was upset, but that was mainly because of like the third period. But we were at Target at
Yeah.
like the start of the Oilers game, and as soon as I saw that Max Jones scored, I you could ask Heather. We were walking through Target. I said, "Oh, Jones scored. It's going to be one of those games." Just because not to say he's a bad omen or anything, but You know, when it's 3 or 4 to 2 after the first because the goalie can't make a stop, I was just like, yeah, this is not going to be a good one,
Yeah.
and it wasn't.
Not even close. But yeah, I guess we can backtrack a little. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
which
the Canadians
game?
really.
The Canadian game, I guess.
Yeah, Ducks lost against Montreal 4-3. They went down 2-0, which has been a nice theme. It's been a lot of fun to watch that. Um, they did fight back to tie the game tie the game at 3 in the third. Um, I had family in town. They were at an Airbnb, and I was watching the game there, so I was trying to keep my cool, watching it with everybody. Um, that one kind of hurt just because of the game-winning goal from the Canadians coming with literally like 3 minutes left in the game. Like I keep saying that, if they're going to go on these losing streaks, it'd be nice for them to at least force overtime in a decent chunk of them. Like right now, they've lost 7 straight. It would have been nice if at least three of them, maybe even four, went to overtime and they were able to get a point. But I mean, that one was there. OT was right there, 3 minutes
I
away. It was
thought
like,
I thought Lucas Dostal should have played that game to give
well,
give
yeah,
John Gibson a little bit of rest.
yeah, and you predicted that they were going to win what, like 120-0
Yeah,
because,
yeah. Shikard has one up on us.
yeah,
Sadly, boo.
thankfully we only have to deal with that twice a year. Um, but what can you do? The Canadians. I don't know. That game was whack. I felt like the Ducks should have won that game. That one was weird. Um, we were able
Penalties were a
to,
problem.
yeah,
Shocker.
yep, going down 2-0 in games early, and penalties have been literally the theme since the 6-game win streak happened. And even during the 6-game win streak, they still were taking a lot of penalties. But
They were finding
yeah,
ways to win despite taking a
yeah,
million penalties.
yeah. And what was happening in that win streak, where they, like you said, finding ways to win. Now they're finding ways to lose, and hopefully that can get flipped around here quickly, or at least soon. Were you able to watch the Ducks Canadians game at all?
Just keeping up with highlights, but
Highlights, yeah.
it was out of all of them, yeah, it was probably the most winnable. I think the one out of the ones we played.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, you have to give Montreal credit too. I mean, they're a young team on the come up, and the fact that I mean they kind of I wouldn't say they played the Sharks really hard because that game went to a shootout, but they've kind of been I feel like a punching bag of like, oh well, they're still way off. I kind of feel like they're kind of in the same boat as we are, where people like to say that other teams are like way ahead in the rebuild, and who knows if they're going to be good. Like, yeah, they're not going to make the playoffs just like us, but I don't know. A lot of people I think kind of overlooked them.
Hmm.
But they got a young roster too, and you really can't count them out unless we're winning, and we just haven't been doing that. We haven't been leading in games. Like I think the Canucks game was what the first time since Sunday where they had a lead for an extended amount of time
Yeah.
or something like that. Or
Hmm.
no, we didn't have the lead last night. I think it just was the Edmonton game when you have the lead for what,
I thought
3 minutes.
Samuel Montembeau. How do you say his
Oh
name?
yeah, it was the Oiler game. Never mind. Yeah, Montembeau.
Yeah, he had a
Hmm.
really good game. I thought.
Yeah, he made some pretty crazy saves. When the Ducks were making that comeback, that was he had a really good game. So yeah, credit to him for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
What's
mean,
what's
like
there to say about the LA and the Edmonton games?
Jesus.
That wasn't already said. Like,
Ellie,
Yeah.
Ellie, Ellie's good.
Uh
Sadly.
yeah, so the Ducks lose to the Kings 5-2. They lose to the Oilers 8-2. So that's two games right there. You're outscored 13-4. Like that's disgusting. But yeah, like I said, we touched on the Kings game and how frustrating that was. I missed most of it, thankfully. The Oilers game, I felt like it was just like watching a horror movie that maybe was an hour too long. and it's like the constant killing, and you're like, wow, just make it stop. Like almost like you're watching Terrifier. If you've ever seen if you've ever
Uh,
seen the movie Terrifier and how graphic it is, sometimes you're like, wow, when is this scene gonna end? And when are we gonna move on from this? Like he's enjoying this, and I feel like the people filming are enjoying this.
yeah,
That's kind of that's the Oiler game.
despite their slow start, the Oilers are still the Oilers. They're still good.
Yeah, it was annoying with because I thought Dostal was I thought he
He
was
was
okay.
he was okay.
I thought he was okay. The
Just a
team didn't help him.
lot of turnovers that led to breakaways.
Dude, there were
And
so many breakaways. There were so many odd man rushes
and
for the
against the
Oilers.
Oilers, you don't want to have breakaways against them.
Yeah. It was frustrating. There's so many odd man rushes. It was just stupid. Um, but to lose 8-2, both goals scored by Max Jones, I think that's an interesting stat.
He's been good.
Um,
I'll eat some crow
yeah.
there. He's been good lately.
Yeah, I've enjoyed him.
Good
He's
on
been playing
Max.
pretty well.
You know,
Yeah. So yeah, we can leave those games right where they are, and we'll move on to the Canucks. We lost. Ducks lost 3-1. I thought it was their best game.
they played good for the first two periods. Really good power plays, I thought.
Yeah. The third, for some reason, I thought,
There was
in my opinion, the Canucks game was probably their best game during this 7-game losing streak. The third period, I don't know what the hell happened, man. Like the third period, they just completely crumbled. I think I can't remember how many minutes they were into the third period, but the Ducks didn't have any shots, and they were trailing like
yeah, early
immediately.
in
I
the
think
third, John Gibson, instead of playing the puck, he decided just to push the player on the Canucks and wasn't really paying attention. And I think
Yeah.
that was just a backbreaker there. And
I didn't realize what everybody was talking about until I watched it, and I
Mhm.
legitimately have not been upset at like a goal going in against the Ducks probably since like 2017, where I've really cared that much
Yeah.
because it just I get it. On one hand, I'll give him credit for playing with a little more tenacity and a little more fire because it seems like he's enjoying hockey again.
Mhm.
But
well,
like you can't
was maybe.
you can't be doing shit like that. Like
Mhm.
let the defenseman, beat up on him.
Yeah.
Like why are you going out of your way to hit him? Like the thing that pissed me off the most was, afterwards he's throwing his hand up like they should be calling interference on it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're
No.
initiating contact with them too. Like you can't have it both ways. And
Yeah.
like the fact that he was more upset about the contact and not the fact that like he was nowhere near stopping that wraparound. Like I get it, wraparounds are hard to stop. I'm not sitting here, trying to say, oh, I would have got that because, you know, yeah, that's a different story.
Mhm.
But he pushed the player and he was like way out of position.
But it's like when your focus is on trying to hit the other guy, hit the other player in the head with your blocker instead of trying to stop, Elias Pettersson with the puck. Like I was
Pretty
pissed
tough.
off. I was very upset about that.
Yeah, same. And
But
it was so early in the third, and it's like, okay, that happened. You still have like 18 minutes in this
yeah,
period to tie it, and they just crumbled after that. They had no
after a strong
urgency.
two periods too. I mean, not strong, but
Yeah.
they played good. I thought.
Yeah, usually the second period is the bad period, but that game it was 100% the third. It
But
was just
the power play last
horrible.
night was probably the best it's looked. There was like that one
Yeah.
power play they had where the first unit was just like out there the whole 2 minutes. Did they score in
Yeah.
that one or I
I
don't think
don't
they
think
No.
scored,
I don't
but
think
No.
they did. No.
it was
No, because I remember
they had some good looks.
yeah, because I remember when the Canucks finally were able to clear it, there was only like 20 seconds left in that power play. But yeah, they looked a lot
So
they
that I mean
looked a
at
lot
least
better.
that's encouraging. Hopefully they could keep that
Yeah.
up tomorrow and beyond.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that
that
was
was a
nice.
winnable game last night.
Yeah. Or at least, like I said, at least a point even. I mean, Jesus.
And
Give
I
me
mean,
something.
we're not trying to sit back and nitpick and be like, oh well, the this game was better just because the score was less. You
Hmm.
know, that totally could have been a 2-1 game in our favor if things go the right way. 'Cause, I mean, we also are getting some pretty bad puck luck. I feel like every time I check Twitter, I'm looking at highlights. It's somebody hitting the post,
Yeah.
coming so close to scoring, and then just something happens and it just completely flips the game on its head. So, not to make excuses because they're also kind of playing dumb sometimes, but the
Yeah.
luck hasn't exactly been there either.
It really hasn't. Yeah.
I mean, fuck, if we want to go back to the Florida game, you
Yeah,
have a goal
they lost two
disallowed,
two.
and just all of a sudden it seems like, everything has just the wheels have fallen off the wagon and everything's on fire. But I don't
But
know. I think they
honestly,
can break this, but it's annoying right now. I would say
honestly,
that.
they're playing the way I kind of expected. There's gonna be some high highs and then some low lows, but they're playing entertaining hockey regardless for the most part. And it's not all about wins or losses again this season. The process is better. Work in progress, but the process is a lot better than it was. So that's all
Yeah.
you could ask for.
And I was waiting for kind of like a losing streak or like a skid like this to kind of reassess how I've been like pumping Greg Cronin's tires since the season started. Like I've really enjoyed him. I just want to say I still love the guy. There's no hate yet. Still love the guy.
Well,
Um,
there isn't a lack of trying, and that's the
mhm.
big thing. Is they're losing these games the way they are, but you can tell that they're at least trying to fix the problems,
Yeah.
regardless of if it's effective or not.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, this team is missing Jamie Drysdale and Trevor Zegras, and
Radko Gudas didn't play last night, and Ilya Labushkin got injured last
I
night's
mean,
game.
we're hopefully at the end of this Carlson load management. I was a fan of it at first, but the fact that he's held his own as much as he has,
Mhm.
um, I think, I'll say, I think that's also a big source of my annoyance. Is it's just like we were told, and we've been big on preaching, just trust what Pat's doing, but I kind of was hoping that they reassessed earlier and were just like, he looks fine and
Yeah.
he belongs here. Let's just let him play. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe it was
Oh,
just November was a long month and we are
yeah.
finally here, and it's just nice to be at this point where hopefully he's playing on a more consistent basis. But
Also, I'll credit them though that they're still sticking to the plan no matter what.
yeah,
Yeah. And if anything, it's one more month. Hopefully by January, that's kind of done with, or mid-January even.
Yeah.
if it's
I
even
don't
a
think I
thing
don't
at
think it's
all.
gonna last the entire season.
Yeah. No, no, they said that it was only going to be like for the first half anyway.
I thought that it was like the first couple months, so maybe in December he'll play a lot more.
Maybe.
They said they would reassess after this month. So hopefully their assessment is, yeah, let's let him play every night because he needs to be playing.
Yeah, but without Trevor Zegers or Leo last night, they did look good for 2 periods. So
Yeah.
Baby steps.
So
although there was a report today that Jamie Drysdale and Trevor Zegers were practicing with the coach from the Ducks.
yeah, I was just about to ask if you wanted to bring that up before I moved on to the
Yes,
looking
so
ahead
they're
segment.
they're doing private drills again, so that's pretty good.
And who tweeted that out?
One Mr. Felix Sicard.
Shout
Good
out
on him
Felix.
for breaking news.
Good on you, Felix.
Yeah, good on you. Celebrate,
Um,
Felix.
yeah, stick taps, as one would say.
Yeah, sick taps. Hat tip. HT.
All right, so let's move on to our What's on Tap segment, brought to you by Noble Ale Works. Go to Noble, right around the corner from Honda Center. Great place to hang out before a game, even after a game. If you mention late arrivals when you get a beer or close your tab, you get 10% off on game days, home or away.
Maybe
Also
going
during
on Friday to drop our flag off too. So
we'll
I was
have our
supposed to hear
flag
from
there.
Josh today. I need to text him again, but
Okay,
our lap flag might be there this weekend. So
nice.
Keep
And the
your
Ducks have a
eye out
home
for
game.
that.
Ducks have a home game on Saturday, so go to Noble Saturday as well. Go check it out, take pictures, send it to us. But yeah, if
Yep.
you mention
Bingo.
late arrivals, when you get a beer or close your tab, you get 10% off on game days, home or away. Also, free game parking for all home games is available at Noble. So go check them out. Tell them that the late arrival sent you. So let's look ahead. Thursday, which is tomorrow. We're recording tonight on a Wednesday night. They take on the Capitals. See how that goes. I did send out a tweet earlier. Was it today? Last night? I think it was last night. That the Ducks will end their losing streak against the Capitals. It will
Oh,
happen.
they sure will. Oh yeah.
Manifestation, baby. It's gonna happen.
Oh, they're gonna
Saturday.
destroy those bozos.
Yeah, so their road trip is done. It was a quick one in Canada. So now they're home for 2, which is weird. And then they're on the road for like another 2 or 3, and then they're home for 1. And it's a weird
I
schedule.
know they play
but
Chicago next week.
I think, yeah.
Let me take a look.
But yeah, Thursday, tomorrow, they play the Capitals at home. Saturday, they're home against the Avalanche, a rare Saturday home game. I feel like they never really get
Oh, it's a long
Saturday.
road trip. Oh shit.
Yeah, it's like 6 games.
Oh
or something.
no, it's one game and then the Eastern road trip.
Oh yeah. Okay. But yeah, so Capitals Thursday night, Saturday night, Avalanche. Both of those games
The
are
rare
on
home
center.
Saturday night game.
Yeah, and then next Tuesday, they also play the Avalanche in Colorado, so they have like a weird Saturday,
Home and home.
Tuesday, yeah, with the Avalanche.
And then they're done with the Avalanche for the year. Hallelujah.
Right. All right. Let's try to get some of these predictions going. Tomorrow night, Capitals come to
Tomorrow
the
they win
Anaheims.
500 kajillion billion to 0.
Another shutout for old Lou.
Yep.
Hey, congrats, Darcy Kemper, on your shutout.
In all seriousness,
Whomever isn't playing tonight in LA.
Yeah.
in all seriousness, the Ducks win 3-1.
I'll say 4-2 Ducks.
I'm going to agree and say 4-2 Ducks as well.
Nice. All right. Let's get these 2 games against the Avs here. Saturday at home, Avalanche. What we got?
I'll go 1-0 Ducks on Saturday.
1-0. Okay.
Yeah, a barn burner of 1-0.
Okay.
Are we doing the Colorado game in Colorado too?
Yeah.
And then I'll say Avs win 3-1.
3-1 in Colorado?
In Colorado, yeah.
All right. The Saturday game against the Avs at home, I'll say the Ducks sneak that one out. I'll say 3-2. I'm going to say that one goes to OT. I keep saying OT and they never go to OT, but this one's going to go to OT. Tuesday against the Avs. Avs win that one 4-1.
At least they have a day, a break in between going back to Colorado, unlike last time.
I know, right? The back to back.
A little more rest.
Actually, they have 2
adjustment.
days. They have 2 days rest.
Yeah, we'll see when they head out if they get there.
I still think that's pretty ridiculous that they did that they scheduled it that way.
Yeah. What can you do?
I'm gonna say Saturday.
I'm playing online about it.
5-3 Ducks.
Okay.
And then Tuesday, I'm going to say 6-3 Avs.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. I was actually going to look really quick last week. So we all had the Ducks beating the Kings, looks like. I love how we do this, and like the next day I totally forget what I say. And then I look back at the notes that I took and I'm like, wow, look at us. That was a week ago. I feel like I was such a young boy.
I didn't say that.
That wasn't me.
That was
Um,
Patricia.
so the Kings game, I had the Ducks winning 3-2. Lou had them winning 5-2. Patrick had him winning 4-1. Connor 5-2 as well for the Ducks.
I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is. Forrest Gump.
I had let's see. Looks like I had Edmonton winning 3-2 in overtime. Lou, you had Edmonton winning 4-2. We had the twos right.
As I say, you guys at least got the Ducks goals right.
We had the twos right. And then the Canucks game, I had
We know puck here at Later Rivals.
I had the Ducks losing 3-2 in OT, and you had the Ducks winning 3-2 in OT.
Did I?
You sure
For what
did, but
game?
yeah,
For what
for the
game?
Canucks,
Well,
Canucks.
get them next
Yeah,
time.
that's it. That is your What's on Tap, brought to you by Noble Ale Works.
Shout out
All right.
Noble.
So
Get you a beer.
speaking of these Ducks games that are coming up tomorrow night, Thursday night, a wonderful Thursday night game. I like Thursday nights, and then Saturday
Pick 'em or
night.
leave 'em.
Saturday night's a good night, especially for hockey. Both at Honda Center. So 714 tickets. We got you covered. Ducks fans, any hockey fans, deals on tickets, any event. Use code LAP, all caps LAP at checkout for 10% off your order. Go to 714tickets.com, snag some Ducks Caps tickets for tomorrow. Maybe go to the fun Saturday night game against the Avalanche. And
Or go to a basketball game. Go
could
to
also
a
do that.
go
If
to a
you're listening
concert.
if you're listening to us, maybe you're a Ducks fan or just a hockey fan in general, and you're in the Denver, Colorado area, you can still use 714 tickets and get go see the Ducks on the road in Denver. But yeah,
Or
all
Chicago.
caps or
Next
Chicago.
week.
All caps LAP at checkout, 10% off your order, and enjoy.
No service fees.
Yeah, no service fees, which is a
They
big
don't
one.
rip you off like Ticketmaster.
So yeah, go enjoy some live events with our wonderful discount code. 714tickets.com.
Shout out
LAP.
714 tickets.
All right.
Cream.
So moving on to this craziness, all this craziness that's happening around the league, good and bad. I had this last in the notes only because it happened last. Like it happened recently, so it was last in my notes, but we're going to talk about it first just because I don't think we need to stick to it too long, just because there's not a lot there. There's still some speculation, and I hate the speculation. It's stupid.
Yep.
But as we all know, if you don't know, Corey Perry's contract has been terminated by the Blackhawks. He was put on waivers for his contract to be terminated once he cleared. He cleared this morning, so no more Corey Perry in Chicago. Man. Oh, like Lou said, sorry, but really quick, I totally forgot about Shift Hockey. Lou,
I said cream.
Did you say cream? I totally
did
missed
say
it.
cream. You didn't hear me.
Please go to shifthockey.com, grab some nice. They came out with new sticks. Did you see them?
That looked pretty cool.
What's the website?
Yeah.
Shifthockey.com.
Shifthockey.com. Apparently, Lou doesn't watch our Instagram stories because I shared it on. Wow, I shared it on the LAP Instagram story.
I bet you did, and I just missed it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
Not really.
Two beautiful new sticks. If you need a new hockey stick, if you need new gloves, if you want some, just like
that air stick is pretty cool. The red, white, and blue one.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
A comfortable hoodie or something, go to shifthockey.com.
They got cream hoodies.
Cream hoodies. Shifthockey.com.
They got some gloves.
Lap 10 gets you 10% off their website. That's all caps LAP with the number 10. Go check them out. And that's a lot of fun. So yeah, sorry to shift back and forth to a Corey, the heaviness of of the Corey Perry news, and then trying to go back into an ad read. But yeah. So what we heard first, it was that Corey Perry traveled with the Blackhawks to Columbus last week, a day before the game. And an incident apparently occurred that day involving a Blackhawks employee, a team employee. Perry, who did not play the next day, which was Wednesday, was immediately pulled from the game once the club was notified. And at that point, they began an investigation. So that's all we kind of knew for a few days. That he was just taken out of the game. There was a incident involving a team. Well, they didn't even say team employee at first, did they?
No, they just said he
You
had
remember?
been pulled from the game, and even before that, it was
Yeah,
just he's going to be away from the team for
Yeah.
an indeterminate amount of time. And then you had
yeah,
Foligno saying, "Oh,
Yeah,
well,
the
we don't
teammates,
we
they didn't
don't
know
know
what was
why,
happening.
and we hope he's okay." And it's like very weird situation that the more details have come out, it's oddly made it even stranger because, like you
yeah.
said, now it's to a point where, okay, well, they're kind of piecing things together, but there's still kind of an air of secrecy of everything.
Hmm. Yeah,
I not that feel like we're entitled to know, because if they feel this is a big
yeah,
enough deal, obviously, the Blackhawks are going to do whatever they can to keep it under wraps because of what has happened in the last couple years in regards to how they've handled things in the past. But it's very weird because obviously the rumor that got spread online of infidelity with a
yeah.
teammate's mom.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, but just for
Kyle
sake of
Davison poo-pooed that yesterday.
Yeah. Um, that whole situation was just annoying to me. It just like not only does like Bedard, I mean, maybe he doesn't see that. I don't know. I feel like he saw it. Okay, so you
You
have Bedard and his family. You
he
got
has
these
to
people
know.
on the
I mean,
Yeah, you got these people on the internet spreading these stupid rumors that whether you want to call it soft or not, being soft, it's stupid because Connor Bedard has a family. He's gonna see it. His family might see it. And not only that, but Corey Perry has a family too. He has a wife and a kid. And I don't know, just spreading that stuff is just stupid. Like people just
yeah,
forget
it's
the
not very
human
funny.
element. The human element is always just out the window, and that's fine because it's the internet. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's the internet," and they always give excuses for people being like that on the internet, and it's just stupid to me. But that was annoying, and part of it was on, you know, part of it was the people on Twitter fueling that fire, but then the other part of it was the Blackhawks not being they don't need to come straight out and say exactly what happened, but they left
I
too
don't think
much
they legally
gray.
can.
Yeah, and they left too much gray area. Things should have been handled a little bit differently.
Mhm.
Because when you leave that much gray area, you're going to cause these things to happen, and people on the internet, of course, are going to run with it because they want that attention. They want the likes and the retweets and all that stuff. And I saw people saying that like Kyle Davidson was like tearing up during the press conference when talking about the Perry situation, but I don't think it was exactly what Perry did. It was that
he has to be up there diffusing a situation like that and having to explain it away.
yeah, and I feel like it was more directed, like his emotion, like the emotional part of it was more directed towards him knowing the rumor that was going around and him kind of, I guess I won't say fueling it, but kind of leaving, like I said, that gray area out there when he first came out and said whatever, because there was like there was a disconnect between the Blackhawks and Corey Perry's agent that kind of caused this whole thing. So it was very annoying. I'm not sure we'll ever really know what happened. We were updated today.
But
that
even then,
apparently,
the update today was still very vague, and it
yeah,
corroborates what's been said.
yeah,
It's just it still doesn't paint the picture of what happened and what made it worth the termination.
yeah. Apparently, because what was told to Emily Kaplan was that it was in Columbus on their way to Columbus, but now this is saying that this happened. Apparently, it was an alcohol fueled incident involving Perry. That apparently occurred during a team event in Nashville. And this was the night before the Blackhawks were going to play the Predators. So they played the Predators the next day. So it was a event that included corporate partners and team employees. So that's pretty much all the update was. So I mean, we'll see how that goes, but just a whole it was just a mess everywhere. But let's try to move on. Let's try to move on from that.
Uh, Before we do, I will say good on everybody that didn't. I wouldn't say didn't like join in on spreading things. I'm
Mhm.
glad nobody enabled me enough. I made a little joke about it. Quoting Ray William Johnson
Oh
on
yeah.
Twitter. But I think that was the big thing. Is not feeding the fire. I didn't see a lot of Ducks fans doing that, and you know, a lot of us, myself included, were like, "Come on, Pat, bring him home." And
Yeah, I'm personally holding off on saying anything like that until more
yeah,
facts come out.
yeah,
I think that's a safe thing to do right now.
Yeah.
I do want to give kudos to those people though that didn't do that because
Yeah.
it was a responsible thing to do. But like you said, the internet's going to be the internet, and people are going to do what they want because that's just kind of how Twitter is.
Yeah.
But again, kudos if you were one of those people that didn't do that because it's pretty stand up of you and good.
Yeah.
Don't be like me.
These are humans that we're dealing with. But anyway, we will move on to something I'm excited for. I can't speak for you two, but the road to the Winter Classic is back. I'm very excited for that.
Explain what that is because I don't know what that is.
It's the series that they do on
They
it's
did it on
usually on
HBO that one time.
HBO. Yeah. Um,
They put
it's
it
like
on
all
NHL. They put it on NHL Network now. It's like
Oh, okay,
the
that
little
that thing.
like series of
yeah,
kind
I
of
think
following
you
the
can.
teams around.
Have you ever watched the Quest for the Cup stuff? It's like the behind the scenes stuff.
I've seen like the behind the B, like
Okay, yeah, it's
talking
similar to
about like
that.
the Bruins and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty much that, just following the two teams in the Winter Classic.
Okay.
They're really cool. I like the behind the scenes stuff. That's where everyone got all those videos of Bruce
Oh, from
Boudreau like
Bruce
dropping the F
Boudreau.
bomb. Yeah. Yeah. Um, but it's gonna be 4 30-minute episodes available on TNT and Max in the US. It's gonna start Wednesday, December 13th.
They
And
could
it's
get
gonna
two
come out.
hours out of that.
Yes.
Good on them.
So Wednesday, December 13th, it'll start at 6:30 Eastern. And then it's gonna be episode 2 will be Wednesday, December 20th. 3 will be Wednesday, December 27th, and then the final episode will come out on Monday, January 1st, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. All the other times are the same time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, I thought that was cool. I'm excited to watch that. I'm glad it's going to be on TNT. And if you don't get TNT, but you have Max, it'll be streaming on Max. So that'll be fun. One quick thing, I think it was the night before the Ducks Canadians game. Sabres were playing. And yeah, I think it was the Black no, not the Black Friday Sabres game. It was before Thanksgiving. Zach Benson got his first NHL goal, and it was beautiful. Beautiful.
Between the legs in
Yeah.
stride,
Oh my God.
that was ridiculous.
And to go like between the legs, like you said, in stride, and then go top shelf. Like it was so nice. I probably watched it like 30 times. It was very cool to see. I'm glad I was watching the game so I could actually see it happen live and I didn't see the highlight of it later. Like it was cool seeing it happen. Um, so yeah, that was a bunch of fun. Shout out to Zach Benson for your first NHL goal. Hopefully many, many more to come.
Shout out Zach.
Lou seems to be losing his cool over there. and
I
I'm not
saw
sure what's
something
happening.
on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
I was just gonna ask what you giggling about over there.
I saw something on Twitter.
Okay. That's usually what happens. Um, so we got some coaching news. I'll start with, we'll leave the Wild one for a second. Here's the first one. Dallas Eakins. It's been a little bit since we've talked about him.
And this will be in a
Trent
positive
Daly.
light.
Yeah, it's a positive thing. He is now the GM of Adler, I think
And the
it's Adler.
coach.
Yes. He's the GM of Adler Mannheim in the German league, the DEL. He will coach until the end of the season and then reassess that position per
So
Elliot
he
Friedman.
goes to one Heim to another Heim,
Yeah, he loves his Heims. He's a big
does.
Heim guy.
collecting them like
isn't that where
Infinity
Derek
Stones.
Grant's playing?
No, Derek Grant's in the
Oh,
Swiss
no,
league.
he's in Switzerland. That's right.
Yeah, he's playing for Zurich. But yeah, Mannheim. They're cool. They're a very well decorated German team. They're very well known. So see how the Aikens
I never heard of them,
experience
so they
goes.
must not be that well known.
Well, you don't know a lot of hockey outside of North America, let's be real.
True.
Hopefully, they don't have any young players that are going to be anchored to a fourth line boat anchor.
Jeez, I hope not. Watch them stick around for a bit and Derek Grant leave Switzerland to go play in Mannheim.
I'm putting together a squad. Isn't Nick Ritchie also playing in Switzerland? I saw something that he went overseas.
Richie
Good for
did?
him.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't
Good
know.
for him.
Nick Ritchie.
We can move on. I'll try and remember where I saw it.
Hope he gets
Okay.
to go see the Matterhorn and whatever you do in Switzerland. Matterhorn's in Switzerland, right? That big ass mountain.
I believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the other coach. So shout out Dallas Eakins. Good luck over there in Germany. You know, do your thing.
Shout out Dally.
Hopefully you can do a lot of biking in Germany. I'm sure it's very
Yeah.
scenic, very beautiful. Minnesota Wild. We'll come back to the NHL here. Minnesota Wild fired their head coach, Dean Eves. Is it Evison?
Evison.
I thought it was Evason.
It's I looked at it so many times and I've
Dean.
listened to different people say it and I still
Deanie,
forgot it in this moment. So I guess that didn't
Mr.
matter.
E.
But he was fired by the Wild and they immediately hired John Hines. Not really sure what that means for the Wild. I saw a lot of people responding to it and they weren't good responses.
Not
a lot
the
of
not the
happy
best
people.
retread, but
Yeah, it seems that way. But hey, what can you do? Minnesota Wild needs some kind of shakeup. I don't really know what's going on up there, but
my adopted team.
nothing good. Yeah, you haven't talked about the Wild in a while.
Yeah.
Guess you were
Nick Ritchie signed in Finland.
Finland. Okay. Do you know the team he plays for? Can you pronounce it?
No.
No.
It was Oloon something.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Minnesota Wild.
I did like
I think
Dean Evison's quote though of they asked him if he's still going to be rooting for the team and he said no,
Yeah.
I'm going to be rooting for the players.
Yeah. Will I be rooting for the Wild? No. But I'm still going to root for the players.
At least he's honest.
Yeah, true. But yeah, not sure what's going on with Minnesota. I feel like they've been the same team every year since they became a team. They're just kind of there. And I'd like to see them play a little bit better. I have a little soft spot for the Wild. They're kind of cool. I mean, their logo is a bear head. It's awesome.
Did you see that picture the other day? I
Yeah,
think
Of
I
the
think
full logo?
Ava
Ava
tweeted it.
posted it.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. I didn't mean to say that. But it's
Yeah, you
weird.
did. Yeah, you know
I actually
you
didn't.
did.
No, I didn't. I didn't mean to say that.
You know you did.
He said,
No.
"Don't lie to us."
But yeah, that was weird to see the full Minnesota Wild logo like that with the full bear body. It doesn't look right, but
No, it looks outrageous.
Kaprizov deserves a fun team, a good team, a playoff team.
Anaheim.
So they they need to figure it out up in Minnesota and get some wins going. They did win with John Hines, like their first game, his first game behind the bench, I believe. So
Well, that's cool.
that's a start. That's a start, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
We're gonna talk about Lou's favorite thing really quick. The NHL is bringing back the player draft for this year's All-Star game in Toronto.
So dumb.
Lou was so pumped to talk about the All-Star game in this
So
episode.
dumb.
He couldn't even sleep last night. Kept
So
texting
dumb.
me.
Do I even have your number?
I don't think you do. Anyway,
I don't know
Wow.
why you hate it so much, Lou. I mean, it's not going to fix the All-Star game, but at least it's something entertaining.
Okay. Here's my thing. If it's gonna be on TNT, okay, it'll be somewhat entertaining. If it's on ESPN or ABC, it's gonna be like watching C-SPAN.
I think it's on ESPN.
Yeah. So it's gonna be like watching C-SPAN. It's gonna be boring as crap. It like Mark Messi and Chris Chelios narrating it. That's just gonna be boring. It's gonna be
Well,
like watching paint dry.
Chelios is actually gone from ESPN, so you don't have to worry
Oh,
about that. But he's
okay.
on
Him and
TNT now.
PK Subban.
They're
PK
gonna-
Subban's not that entertaining. I'm
They're going to
sorry.
do us one better and let Nasher do it.
But it the only difference is now that the only thing that's different is that Austin Matthews could play on a team with Connor McDavid now. That's literally the only change. Literally it.
I kind of hope that they allow like the All-Stars to be the All-Stars. I'm kind of done with the one player from each team thing. Even if that means no Ducks go one year, I don't care. Like it's the All-Star game. They should be the best of the best, not just because, oh, we feel bad that this team is going to be left out.
Yeah, I'm kind of that opinion too. Like the one year where it was like Silverberg went, and it's just like
I think
just
I
like-
think Mason McTavish has a legitimate chance.
Oh, 100%. Like the Ducks, I don't think would have to worry about not having one this year.
It's gonna
But
be
I'm
him
just-
or maybe
yeah.
Frank Vetrano.
Yeah, one of them. But yeah, the All-Star player draft will be on ESPN. So it's going to add an extra day to the All-Star weekend. So instead of it being like a Friday, Saturday thing, it's going to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday thing. So February 1st, on Thursday, they're going to have the All-Star player draft it's going to go from 6 Eastern to 7 Eastern, so an hour player draft, and then they're going to go right into the NHL Alumni Man of the Year, and then they're going to be honoring the 1967 Toronto Maple Leafs. That'll be for an hour. That's only going to be on ESPN Plus, and then the cool little addition is after that they're going to have the PWHL 3-on-3 showcase, which you can also view on ESPN Plus. So I like that they added the PWHL in there.
that'll be cool.
That'll be fun. I'll talk about that league really quick in a second, but I want to ask you what you guys think. So the thing with this All-Star player draft is they're gonna have celebrity guests with the captains for the 4 teams, I guess, and they're gonna help draft these teams. So
Yeah, that's a
Who
good
do you
idea in
think-
theory. That's a good idea in theory, but it's gonna be like some C-list celebrity that nobody gives a shit about.
yeah, I was gonna ask, who do you think those like choose 4 celebrities or something that you think?
I don't know. I'm not up with the current celebrity, but
I
it's
was
gonna be
thinking about
some like
this.
C-lister.
I was thinking about this earlier, and I just felt like Lou would just be like anyone but Drake.
Oh,
Well, you know
he's
gonna be
you
one
know
of
that
them.
motherfucker's
Yeah.
gonna be there.
It's either
Yep.
gonna be him or Bieber because they're in
It might be
Toronto.
I would rather have Justin Bieber there.
It might be both. It might be both Drake and Bieber there, and then add
If he's
2
there,
more.
I'm not watching this year.
Watch it be like
I'm not watching. I'm boycotting out of principle. I'm not doing it.
watch it
Who
be
did
like
the narration for the Amazon series for the Leafs? That was Will Arnett, right?
Will Arnett. Yeah,
I could see them having him.
They probably would have Will Arnett as well. I feel like
I like
those
him.
three could be locks, honestly. If they can get Bieber and Drake, I feel like it's happening. Will Arnett will probably be there.
Bring in Ryan Reynolds to be like the heel since he's from Ottawa.
Ryan Reynolds would be fun. It'd be different.
Anyone but Drake. Anyone
Because
but
the
Drake.
NHL likes to get these celebrities and then run them into the ground with hockey content. I'm talking about John Hamm specifically. Like, dude, I don't care about I like him. He's a good actor and everything. I don't care that you like the Blues. The Blues are
And
stupid
then
to me.
and
I
then
don't
when
care.
the Blues and the Bruins, the Cup final, they had to show us John Krasinski and Jenna Fisher like
Yeah.
200 times.
I just had Jenna Fisher at the game the other night and they had to make a big deal about it. Like the lookalike cam they did on
And
the
they lost
Jumbotron.
too.
I'm like, I don't care that Jenna Fit. We
But
know she's the
she was
Blues
at the
fan.
Blues game.
Yeah. It's like we know she's a Blues fan. Don't care anymore.
No,
Like it was
really?
fun during the Stanley Cup
Hey,
run.
did you guys
with
know John
her.
Krasinski's a Bruins fan?
I will admit it was fun when the Blues and Bruins were in the Cup final and those two were having their fun with it, being fans of each of their
The
teams there.
Office.
But
It was
yeah, it's
fun
like I'm
about
done.
the first maybe 2 times.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with it. I
Yeah,
don't care. Get new celebrities. There are, and I mean, maybe they do Keenan Thompson. I feel like they're running. Keenan Thompson's the new one. They're running him into the ground. They're doing everything with Keenan Thompson now, which
yeah, especially
isn't
because
bad.
Good Burger 2's out on
Yeah,
Paramount.
and that's not a bad thing in my opinion. I like Keenan Thompson. He's fine. He's funny and stuff.
By the way, I
but
tried to watch Good Burger 2 the other day and it was just awful. Like I kind of I watched like 10 minutes of it and I was like I have to turn this off.
oh well, that's too bad.
It was that bad.
Well,
Yeah.
can't win 'em all.
Anyways,
But yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if like maybe Green Day is there.
I don't know about that because they said the fuck word.
That's true. For the anthem, right? Like not
No,
like their own. They made up their own like
No,
anthem for the.
it was they were singing Basket Case, and like during
Oh,
like
right.
the guitar solo, Billy Joe was like, "Throw your fucking hands up."
That's true. I forgot about
I
that.
don't think they bleeped it, or they might have bleeped it, but
Do we see Nickelback?
Whose fault is that? That sounds like an NHL problem, not a Green Day
Oh,
problem.
they
You
did
know what you're
do-
getting yourself into.
they did do Nickelback at the Heritage Classic.
Yeah, that might have been their foot in the door.
If they have Creed there, I'm back.
If they have Creed there, I'm
Even
gonna
if
pass
Drake's
out.
there, I'll look past it.
I would pass out if Creed came out.
Yeah.
That'd be
They're
hilarious.
hot again, so why not?
Yeah, they are. But yeah, Will Arnett is a good guess. Drake and Bieber. I'm gonna throw out Tate McRae because she is a new sensation, a pop sensation.
Tracy McGrady.
Tate McRae.
Tracy McGrady.
Tate McRae, please help draft the Pacific or however it's gonna be laid out. Like
Well, Tracy McGrady was a Toronto Raptor.
okay.
They might
Moving
have
on.
like they might
All
have
right,
like
moving on.
they might have like Vince Carter or something. Or like a
They might.
former Leaf. They'll have Ty Domi there for sure.
Oh God, we don't need the Domies there.
Talking
anyway.
about Sam Bennett being bald.
Okay, so I brought up.
That was cathartic to watch him get his ass beat. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah,
I was in a mood to be a hater yesterday, and watching that, I was like, you know what?
yeah.
Deserved.
I don't know
it's
what you're
healthy.
talking about, but
It's healthy to be a hater every once in a while, but like anything, you can't have too much of something. Too much of something is always bad. So you
oh
can't.
no, I could hate all the time. I could do anything I want. I just have to set my mind to it.
I mean, that's true. That's good for any of the younger generation.
I just
listening to this.
gave the youngins some good advice.
That's true.
there.
Some Lou wisdom was dropped.
Yeah, some
tonight. That was
lose
great.
them.
Lose saying never back
Losing.
down, never what? Never
Sure,
Uh,
give
yeah.
up.
All right. So during the All-Star weekend, I brought up that they're gonna have a 3-on-3 showcase of the PWHL players.
That'll be cool.
Speaking of that, the PWHL.
Why does it have to be 3-on-3 though?
This is the All-Star Games 3-on-3.
Yeah, and it's
Can we just go back to 5-on-5? East
It's more
versus
chaotic.
West?
It's more chaotic hockey for the casual.
Well, they might actually try.
viewer. Yeah, they might.
They,
But
they might actually try.
But with that, the PWHL season is set finally. For January 1st, they're going to have a game. Their season opener, it's going to be New York at Toronto at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So for
9:30
me,
Pacific.
that'll be 10:30 here, 9:30 for y'all. They still haven't said like what the streaming or TV rights are, so I don't know what's going on there. I'm not even sure if we'll be able to watch. But you would think that in 2024, when this is going on, you'd be able to watch something like this, whether it's just on a streaming service or not. This shouldn't be something that you can't watch. So hopefully they figure that out and we hear something soon. But yeah, I'm excited. PWHL season should be fun. Not sure if we talked about their jerseys when they released them. They're kind of
Yeah, we
boring.
did.
We did. And
Okay.
we all came to the consensus that they were very boring.
Okay.
Except for Minnesota, I think.
Minnesota's a nice purple, so I give them that. New York has that nice like seafoam green type of look to them that's really nice too. But yeah, getting closer to the new women's league, their season kicking off. I'm excited to check it out and see how that goes. And the last thing here I have in my notes is that Patrick Kane has finally signed, and he is now a Detroit Red Wing. And I tweeted out that he has an original six fetish.
Yeah, he's
It's
boring.
real. It's real.
Patrick Kane is boring. Players who only go to the original 16 are boring.
Our good pal Bucky brought up that there's only one player in the history of the NHL that has played for all 6 original 6 teams. And
Who's that?
my oh my, I wish I had the tweet up. But anyway, Patrick Kane's on his third. If you didn't know, Blackhawks, Rangers, now Wings. What do you think about the Kane?
I hope he gave Daniel Sprong like a Rolex or something for 88.
He probably didn't have to give him anything just because of his name.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're having to give Daniel Sprong something to get your number, then there's something wrong in this world.
It's the right thing to do.
Well, yeah, but
it's the generous thing to do. Patrick Kane has enough money to give little Danny a Rolex.
yeah, but are we gonna sit back and say that, Daniel Sprong keeping the number 88 hostage from a 3-time cup winner who's arguably one of the best American goal scorers of the last decade? That's kind of ballsy for a guy that's on like his fifth
I would
team.
stand my ground still.
I don't know. I read that and it was just like, yeah, I'm being gracious and giving him his number. It's like, just know your place, buddy.
Yeah,
exactly. I just hope he got something for it, even if it was a gift card to freaking Carrabba's.
Yeah,
or the
maybe behind the scenes, Patrick Kane gave him something. Hopefully, he did. I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
He's a freaking cheapskate if he didn't.
I found the tweet. So the only his name is Vic Lynn. His full name is Victor Ivan Lynn. He played in the NHL from 1943 to 1954. He is notable as the only player in NHL history to play for all of the original 6 teams. He was born in...
When was the first expansion? Like the 60s?
67?
Yeah, that was like the Penguins and the Flyers and
the
Blues. The Kings.
Blues. Yeah, it went from like 6 to 12 teams. Like they expanded to like 6 markets.
That's actually surprising that only one player did that.
Yeah, kind of. He was born in 1925, passed away in 2010.
Oh, dang. Lived a long life.
85 years old. So yeah, that was kind of a cool little piece of information.
Little trivia question.
Yeah, thanks to our good pal Bucky.
Shut up, Bucky.
Who runs
He runs the Anaheim team history Twitter page, right?
Yep, go follow that.
Yeah, go follow that for some Ducks history.
At ANA Ducks History on Twitter. Go check that out. He also has his own podcast for that page. Yeah, so go check him out. Fun stuff. Really cool stuff to dive into.
Which topic do you guys want to do this week?
let's
Whatever your
dive
little
into
heart desires, my man.
Okay, I'll just pick one at random then.
Okay.
These are good ones. He always Hockey 365 always
Yeah, shout
sends
out,
us really
shout out,
good
shout out him.
questions.
Yeah, he told me that he has like a dozen. He has like a dozen already ready. He just wants to give us little by little each time. He doesn't want to like
Yeah.
overwhelm us with like 12 different things.
That's a good idea because we get
Um,
overwhelmed easy.
We'll do
I
the
mean, I know
referee.
I do, but
We'll do the referee one.
All right. So
So it is being a referee and or linesman in the NHL the most thankless job in professional sports? No, because they're terrible. Let's be real. The officiating this year has probably been the most noticeably bad it's been in a while.
it's been pretty sus.
Um, you know, I've always thought that, yeah, I'm not gonna sit back and say that their job is easy, but like I say many times on this show, the NHL does nothing but get in their way, and I think the officiating is part of that. You know, people like to talk about, oh, the boys club of all the teams. You know, it's always going to be, who who's involved with the team, the franchise. But let's be real, it's the same with the refs too.
Yeah.
The fact that the NHL had to fire Tim Peel because they caught him, saying something that he's probably said 100 times on the ice. But to not have the bad
now he's
PR of
starting Twitter
keeping him,
beefs with people on Twitter.
yeah, like the fact that they did it because they wanted to be ahead of the bad press that was going to come, like,
Mhm.
just shows that they know that their refs aren't the best, and it's not to say that there's bad, every ref is bad, because there are some good ones, and there are some games where we sit back and we're like, wow, we really got fucked tonight because there used to be, it was Tim Peel. You'd see him ref a Ducks game and you'd be like, oh, sick, we're gonna be in the penalty box all night.
Yeah.
You just know sometimes. I have sympathy to an extent, but to say that it's thankless, like, no, like, they consistently fuck up, and every year there's always one thing where it's like you have all of these resources in front of you, but you still somehow get it wrong.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where it's like, if we're vetting these refs and making them go through the lower levels of hockey and working their way up, something has to change. Let's get younger refs in there, because it's clear that the current set of guys that are there just aren't cutting it. It's great to
Yeah.
see like Jordan Samuels Thomas kind of work his way up. I remember when he first started, he was, I think, a year or two removed from playing from into his first reffing season. And it's cool seeing guys like him get chances
Yeah.
that they can make that transition from playing to becoming a ref, like, that fast. Let's get younger refs in there, because clearly what's going on right now with officiating of the Wes McCaulleys of the world that are more inclined to make it a spectacle and not about the game.
Mhm.
At some point you gotta cut bait and be like, hey, you make us money because you go out there and you're acting like a goofball, but like, if you don't want your product to suffer, you got to make some changes at some point.
Yeah.
Also,
100%.
can we give them at least better technology too, like better cameras in the goal? Can we update their iPads too? Maybe give them the iPro Pro 15 or whatever it is, the newest one.
Instead of having like a iPhone 3 hooked up to the
Something.
net.
And what I hate hearing during games too, when they do like reviews like that, is like, oh, now remember they have an angle that they don't show us. They can't show us. It's like,
Why
so
won't they show it
is
to us?
that angle worse then? Because how are they still getting these wrong if we are seeing the angles they're giving us and we're noticing, okay, that's a goal, that's not a goal,
If the
that's clearly offside, that's not offside, but they get a different angle and they're still getting it wrong. It's so weird. I don't understand what's going on with that stuff, but
Probably the reason why the
Huh.
the goal that the Ducks scored got called off was because the camera quality was grainy, and that was their way of saying no goal. Let's give
Yeah,
them better
something.
camera with a better
Hey,
quality.
that's what the NHL needs for Christmas.
Yeah.
New cameras.
Or
Hear that,
like
Santa Claus?
a lot of people say the pucks already have sensors in them, so how can you not have sensors in the ice? You could
Hmm.
easily build a layer of ice above a sensor like that,
Yeah.
ingrain it in the ground, put it in the cement,
Yep.
make it to where it activates every season. You check that everything's working. You know, it has something that's going to deal with the permafrost of the ice a little bit better, you know, so it's not shorting out the sensor. You could easily do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Or do
if you have to make the hockey puck light up like a roller puck,
Hmm.
or you know, like the little fucking reservation, the little discs you get at a restaurant. If the puck has to buzz when it crosses the line, like so be it. But let's
Just
get rid of
vibrating and
the fucking refs looking at reviews on a DS in the
yeah.
fucking penalty box, playing fucking
Yeah.
Nintendogs at the same time. Like, come on.
Yeah.
or have like a
Something's
version
gotta
of
change there.
VAR like they do in football, European
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
I mean,
Soccer's
VAR
got it down.
sucks, but
Yeah, I mean they still complain about it. It's still not the
VAR
greatest, but
sucks, but they could have like a version of it somehow.
Like
yeah.
like
There's
football
ways
football
of
has a camera in the end zone, the little end zone markers. Like
yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
football,
we're getting more
and the pylons.
reliable reviews and angles from a plastic pylon with a camera hooked up inside of it than an arena that is apparently equipped with like 5 different cameras to see this shit. Like, do you know
Yeah.
how ridiculous that is?
Yeah.
Like,
It's frustrating to
I
have
think
to
they're just too
see.
cheap to to buy new equipment.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I feel
well,
like the
when you're
equipment's
partnered
there.
with SAP for 50 years or whatever it is, and you're Gary Bettman who doesn't like changing shit, like it's pretty
Yeah.
easy to be like, oh well, this is clearly working. No one's complained about it enough.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways,
It's annoying.
Do you think refs should be held accountable at the end of games? Should they be
yes,
talking to
yeah,
media? Should they be I
yeah.
know
I
we've
think
talked
they,
about this before on
yeah,
an
I think
earlier
they should
episode.
be able to talk to the media.
They do don't they do that in another league or no?
No,
No, I thought they did that in something else, but maybe
no,
I guess not.
and you're not allowed to criticize them. Otherwise, you get fined. Which is, I think
Yeah.
it's stupid. You're voicing your opinion. You shouldn't be fined for your opinion. I mean, I could understand if you call them like a bad name or something, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause
like
I
I
know
mean,
I know
if you're
the
being like way out of pocket about it and it's not productive criticism, like we got to be honest here. Like it's probably not going to be constructive in the heat of the moment.
yeah.
If the Pittsburgh situation with Cronin getting fined was any indication, like he said some things that clearly he should not have said. And we for the expert lip readers of Twitter out there, you could clearly see what he was saying. So yeah, we can't sit back and be like, oh yeah, it's always going to be, hey, I think you got that wrong, buddy. No, there's going to be some heat and some ass hurtedness in it, but yeah,
Yeah.
if a ref could sit at the end of the game and do a 5-minute press conference and say, hey, this is what we saw, this is why we made this call, why we did that, I think people would have more, I wouldn't say sympathy, but people are going to be a little more understanding of like, okay, well, at least he's saying this and I can still believe he's wrong, but I'm at least getting an explanation instead of, the guy with the telescope sitting on top of the Honda Center that was looking at looking at the refs, trying to make this call in the net. Like
Yeah.
you could tell I have a lot of opinions on this.
He cares so much about the game. But yeah, I agree.
Yep.
So is what a week of not being able to talk does to me.
All right. This one's from the Hockey Boomer. How does Henry Kissinger's death affect the second power play unit's deployment?
I don't even have a snarky answer to that.
God damn.
But you know what? Props to Steven. This
Yeah.
is we haven't had a question like that in a while.
We haven't.
That's just kind of been like, hey, you know what? I don't know how to respond.
Yep. Just kind of speechless. Lou's dying. He's not well. Lou, I guess how we can answer that question is how about you let everyone know what was trending on Twitter?
R.I.P. Bozo.
R.I.P. Bozo. Okay. All right.
Um,
You ready for the squeak of the week?
I'm having Queen flashbacks.
Oh, we do have another one.
Oh, do we?
We
Yeah,
had
we
one
have a
that
couple
was
more.
that was asked about the Perry situation that I could read off.
Oh, okay.
So it was from
want me to read it?
NFG Andrew on Twitter. Said
Good.
the Corey Perry situation has been such a wild ride. The rational part of me worries about what went down, while the monkey in my brain won't stop chittering about the potential of his return to Anaheim, partially so the Perry jersey I just got will be relevant again. Considering where the team is at the moment, would it even be a good idea to bring him back? I'm a new hockey fan and unsure about how to feel about all of it.
I think first and foremost, we need to let it all play out to see what comes out.
Yeah, that's the important thing.
And Jake from Crash the Pond, he said in Discord today, he brought up a good point. The Ducks are trying to build a culture, and what kind of message does it send to the younger players about bringing someone who just got their contract terminated?
Yeah.
And you're bringing that guy in, like, not a great
Yeah.
message to send. So
Definitely definitely something to wait on. And
Yeah.
maybe it never happens. A lot of people kind of jumping on the whole bring him back to Anaheim almost immediately when he was going to be put on waivers, but I think we should definitely wait. I
yeah, yesterday
understand
I
it's
was
Corey.
immediately like, let's maybe hold our horses on
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I get it. It's Corey Perry, but we
Yeah,
need
it's
to. This is a serious situation, and we
yeah,
need to let it kind of ride out and see what's going on. And I wonder when this is all said and done, if it affects the future of Perry with the Ducks organization, if you know what I mean. Like
like
with
number retirement or
future
something.
plans. Yeah, I wonder if
Yeah.
it kind of sours a lot of stuff. I mean, you just never know. We don't know what happened, so we kind of have to,
Wait and see.
yeah, hang tight and see what goes on. I don't think you should be really swaying either side of that
Yeah.
conversation.
Well,
Just
there
kind of,
is there still is that gray area in regards to not knowing everything. So it is kind
yeah,
of hard to be on one side or the other, not knowing, you know, not knowing the full situation. I mean, to your point about it affecting the future of the franchise, I don't think you can really sit back and say that you can really, I don't know. To me, I don't think you can really take into account what happened since he's been away.
yeah,
Because, let's be real. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say, but it's like, are you gonna take this situation? I mean, if it comes out that it's really as bad as it sounds, and as Davidson's press conference makes it seem, then yeah, maybe
Yeah,
they
Kyle
do.
Davidson was like on the verge of tears yesterday.
Maybe it
yeah,
does kind of take a hit, but to me, it's maybe something the team looks past, especially if it's a decision that comes from Henry and Susan.
hmm
If it's a thing of, hey, if his career's done and both him and Getsy are done, and we want the 10 and 15 up there, I could see them making a case of, hey, this didn't happen while he was here.
yeah,
This happened after that chapter ended here in Anaheim. And I don't know, it is kind of a moral
Yeah.
gray area of like,
yeah,
Yeah.
to the point that you had said that Jake had made, if you are kind of pushing this idea of it's a
You're
new era
trying to change the
here,
culture.
you're trying to change the ways of the past. Like, it does bring that it brings legitimacy to, is this something that should be done?
Yeah.
But that's just kind of, I don't know, it's just this whole situation is just weird. Like you said,
Yeah,
Very
you
weird.
can't really pick a
Bizarre.
side of, well, how should I feel about this, because it is an uncomfortable thing that I think, at least shows that a lot of people have kind of that wherewithal of like, I like this player, but you know, it's I have to look past the fan
Mm-hmm.
in me.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, shout out to NGF Andrew for that question.
Yep.
Welcome. You're a new hockey fan. Welcome to hockey. I hope you enjoy it. I'm sorry that you had to join when the NHL. I mean, you could join NHL fandom at any point, and there's all hell breaking loose for better or worse. So I guess it really doesn't matter. But a lot of stuff going on, kind of negatively. But welcome to hockey. I hope you enjoy it. If you want to go follow him on Twitter, it's at NGF Andrew. He runs a page here that is the home of a fans' coverage and opinions of their favorite teams. He's a big soccer guy. Looks like he covers the LA Galaxy, Real Madrid, Orange County SC, and
Follow
ACF.
Madrid.
ACF Fiorentina, I believe. That is a Italian team.
Yeah, I think that's Serie A.
Yeah. So yeah, if that interests you, it looks like he works with the LAX Sports Nation website, or at least contributes. So yeah, go check him out if that tickles your fancy. But
Want
now,
me to read the squeak?
go ahead.
Okay, this is from the mouse. He chimes in and says limes. You just hate to wait in them. They take way too long to get through. Continually having to hurry and stop. Just so sick of them, to be honest. Wait, I said limes, not lines. Oh well. What is the world's best fruit? Lou in capital letters must answer.
Go ahead, Lou.
Go ahead. I'll wait.
Okay, well, you have to answer. Just remember, the world's best fruit. I do enjoy an orange. I feel like oranges are very delicious. I enjoy some grapes. Grapes are delicious. Blueberries, strawberries. I'm a big fruit guy. I like some fruits. Um, just as fruits or in pastries, very delicious. All great. Cherries, delicious. Bananas, delicious.
I disagree there. Bananas suck.
I don't like the banana flavored things, but like actual bananas, I like.
Yeah,
Like,
banana flavorings kind of whack.
yeah. I can't have like banana pudding or any kind of banana flavored like any kind of pastry or candy. I can't do it. It's disgusting to me. But like an actual banana, it's delicious. I had one today. It's wonderful. But I don't know. I can't really say like my favorite because watermelon's great. There's just so many good ones, Lewis.
Is avocado a fruit?
No, I wouldn't say. I don't think.
I'll
There
go with
are fruits out there that you wouldn't think were fruits, and they are, and it's kind of weird.
Aren't tomatoes
I'm
considered
good
a
with it.
fruit?
I think tomatoes are considered a fruit.
Avocado, a fruit.
We're getting an education here on fruits.
Funnily enough, avocado's a fruit. So I'll go with
Ah.
avocado.
Okay. You're gonna
I
go with
love a good-
avocado?
I love a good avocado.
All right.
I like grapes too, but
Grapes are good. Grapes are pretty good, especially the red ones. I like the red more than the green.
I like green grapes more.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I like
red
purple
ones.
ones a little bit more. But
Yeah, it's kind of like the red. The purple are kind of like the reddish color.
So, cherries are definitely my favorite. Me and my grandma would literally eat like a whole bag, like when I'd go to her house, and
Oh, nice.
I'd go home with a nice stomach ache.
that just I was gonna say that just sounds like a stomach ache waiting to happen.
There's
Peaches,
something really.
I like peaches.
Ooh,
a
I didn't
lot.
say. Yeah, peaches are good too.
Apples are terrible. I hate
Depends
apples.
on the apple. I have a hard time with some apples. They're kind
Yeah,
of nasty.
I'll only eat Granny Smith or what are like the really dark red ones? Fuck.
Macintosh?
Oh, Macintosh. I like those apples. Those ones are actually like juicy and they're good. Others are kind of hard for me to enjoy.
I don't like Fiji apples.
No,
There's some that I don't like. But I'll have an apple occasionally.
there's something about having like watermelon on like a summer day. It's just delicious.
Pineapple is the other one I eat a lot.
Oh
I
my
like I
God.
like pineapple too.
I don't like pineapple. Pineapple.
Pineapple is so good.
I think
Damn.
my mom's allergic to pineapple.
I
Really?
mean, technically everybody kind of is affected by pineapple because it eats like the enzymes of your mouth
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
because of all the acid, but
hmm
I know some people get it worse than others.
I guess if I had to like pinpoint a specific fruit that I can enjoy, like sit down and actually just eat, like plain without putting it in anything, because I do like putting some fruit in my cereal. If I were just to like eat it plain,
I don't
I
like
think it would,
cereal.
Jesus, it would probably be, I would have to say pineapple. I think pineapple would be the number one. Like a sit down and just dive into this thing and enjoy.
What the hell is a drupe? Drupe.
Not
That's
sure.
a good
I just
question.
googled. I just googled different. I googled different kinds of fruits because I wasn't. I wanted a complete list, and a drupe is on there. Never heard of that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
See, I might change my answer already to grapes. See, I'm a mess. I don't know. I like them. I like most of them. I like most of them.
Yeah,
Well,
Except
plums
cantaloupe.
on there. Like
to
Plum
the
is
sweater I'm wearing
plums are
right
pretty
now.
good. Yeah.
Oh, by the
to
way,
Would you
I'm
call
finally
this?
wearing the 30th anniversary sweater.
It's very nice. I'm
Yeah,
glad you got
I
one.
got Trevor Zegras.
You got
Let's
Zegras.
see.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful. So beautiful. Would you consider this hoodie I'm wearing plum?
that's purple.
It's
that's
just
purple.
purple. It's just purple. Okay.
That's like Grimace from McDonald's purple.
Okay.
So before we get out of here, the Gulls have tied the game against
Mm,
Texas,
mm.
No way.
where they have been up and down, giving up goals, but
I was gonna say, weren't they down like 3-0 at one point?
Nikita Nesterenko tied it at 5 just now.
Nice.
Good for them. Real quick, thank you to everyone who showed their Spotify top podcast list for the year.
Yeah.
And if we're on there, thank you very much.
As always, thank you for the support.
We appreciate that. I
It's very
personally
cool.
don't have Spotify because I hate the interface,
But
and
yeah,
I don't want to pay for premium either. So
I gotcha.
I
Yeah.
just download songs from the iTunes store. Like I'm in 2009, and I just
As long
listen to
as you're
music that
happy.
way.
As long as you're happy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Safe.
we always appreciate everybody and your continued support. It's always cool to see our podcast on lists like that and just seeing our logo on different things like that. It's always pretty cool. It's kind of crazy still. Like I kind of have to do a double take sometimes when I see our logo on things that aren't posted by one of us. So
Yeah, it's weird.
Say my Spotify Wrapped was the same, I think, for the 5th year in a row. So
yeah,
don't listen to anything different. It did tell me that I listened to Alexander the Great by Iron Maiden 37 times in January, so I clearly was having a normal time last January. I guess I was in the mood to go conquer Europe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Really quick before we head out here, I was gonna ask Ducks lineup, the forward lines. Would you do anything to change them for tomorrow's game against the Capitals? Right? Because the last game, it was the top line of Vetrano, McTavish, and Strome, followed by Killorn, Henrique, Terry. Third line was Jones, Grew, and Silverberg, and then Johnston, Carrick, and McGinn. So say Leo Carlson's back, but no one else.
Yeah,
No
yeah, no, he's
Zegras
gonna be
yet.
back.
Yeah, say Leo Carlson.
Yeah, he's for sure playing tomorrow, unless like something happens.
We thinking a little switch up because they're still struggling to score. Probably still going to struggle to score with
I
Leo.
Is
in
it
the lineup
Leo,
anyway.
I don't
Alex
know if
Killorn,
you
Troy Terry?
can.
Yeah.
I mean, do you break up the Vetrano McCavish Strom line? Because they're like the only ones consistently scoring.
Yeah.
I
I
would
don't know.
do
I think if that top line figures it out and like they're able to get Terry out of his rut and like Kaloran can start producing,
yeah, that's a good line.
I think everything else underneath's fine. Like Grew, Jones,
Hmm.
Silverberg's been serviceable. The fourth line, they've kind of Carrick's kind of cooled off a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We're kind of in a weird spot where I don't feel like anything isn't like necessarily like not working, but
I
Hmm.
I would flip flop Frank Vetrano and Troy Terry.
Okay.
So like Ryan Strome, Mason McTavish, Troy Terry, and
And
then
then Kaloran, Henrique,
Alex
Petrano.
Killorn, Leo, and then Frank
Oh,
that
okay.
wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
because they need someone who could just shoot the puck. Because like Troy Terry, he holds on to the puck. He's like a playmaker in a way.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I think that might be something. I don't know.
Yeah. Just
I'm
want to
just
pick
a
your brain.
guy.
You're just a guy. Yeah. Just want to see what you thought. We'll see if the lineup changes at all tomorrow outside of the Leo Carlson
The
probably
the
slotting back in.
the the, the defense pairings, who knows? Because Ilya Labushkin got injured, and they said Greg Conan said Radko Gudis is out short term. So
Hmm.
that probably just meant he wasn't playing yesterday. So
It
he might be back
probably
tomorrow.
it probably solidifies the Fowler Lacombe pairing still because of
Yeah.
now more injuries. um,
Maybe Robert Hag gets called up tomorrow and plays.
Okay, call up Zellweger. Let's just do it.
yeah, honestly, why
They're not going
not?
to do that, especially if they're playing tonight. They're not going to do that.
Gibson or Dostal tomorrow?
I hope Lucas, but it's probably going to be Gibby.
Dostal needs to get in there and get some redemption from that Oiler game.
The thing is, he hasn't been playing a lot lately. He needs to play a little bit more.
Yeah.
Caps are
All
actually
right.
beating the Kings right now, 2-1.
2-1, you say, huh?
About 13 minutes left in the game.
Ooh-hoo-hoo.
Well, hopefully the
All
Kings
right.
tire him out at least.
Go to overtime, maybe a shootout, 23 rounds or something.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe a 30 round shootout.
all
We're not
right,
picky.
so that is all from
It
us
is
here
all.
at the Late Arrivals podcast. Episode 64 is all finished. Um,
We've done
thanks for
this
sticking around.
64 times, huh?
64 times. Thanks again for if you stuck around this long and
Five
you
more
you
episodes
stay
until the nice one.
and if you stay to the end of these episodes, we appreciate you. As always, please follow us on all of our social media platforms at Late Arrivals Pod. Follow and subscribe literally wherever you can. Go support the show. Leave us a 5-star rating anywhere you can as well, whether it's Spotify or Apple or wherever you consume your podcasts. Give us a nice little rating there. We appreciate it. It bumps us up on the podcast list and all that.
Where are we on that list?
We were out this week, but we did go like 4 or 5 weeks in a row where we were in the top like 250, which was cool to see.
That's cool.
We kind of held on there for a little bit. That was nice. But yeah, it's always cool seeing our podcast in that. So go ahead and give us some reviews even, but mainly ratings. Go give us some ratings. It's almost December. That means Christmas is coming. Go check out our link tree in our social media homepages. You'll find the links in there. We have 2 different shops. You can go check out some stuff. The Inside the Rink shop and our Teespring shop. Plenty of options for you to rep the LAP shield or our mighty seal. Yeah, go check it all out. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
65.
65.
Bye.